when we started talking, one of the things I remember saying to you was, as I started reading the Bible, bear in mind that I'd had no impulse to read the Bible ever, and I started to do it out of like, maybe I should read it, but I wasn't particularly called to read it. I'll read it and see if I can consider what if this happened. And I started to notice that it seemed like, as you've got Jesus talking to people in the Bible, but after I've been reading it for a while, you start to see that he's kind of talking to you as you're reading it. Like all of the things that he's saying are almost aimed right at you, and you can see that there's almost no way of avoiding it. Like he's talking to some random just some random person with leprosy, and he's giving sort of advice, but for some reason the advice, you know what it means in your life. You can see exactly what he's saying, and you can see it lands right on that part of you, which is like, why am I feeling almost like I'm in this story all of a sudden? And I think that it speaks to how, if God actually came to earth, the words he spoke would probably be magic words, and they would probably be relevant forever. And it seems when you read the Bible like that is the case.
Yeah, and it's even with, like, you mentioned leprosy, people kind of like, that's archaic. That's an archaic term, right? I mean, leprosy still exists in pockets of the world, but it's not an everyday thing for us. But even that, as a kind of, in a typological sense, we've all got leprosy.
Yeah.
We've all got something within us. It has, as you say, it has that kind of touch of eternity. He says, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away.
Yeah.
And look at this abbey that was built because of him. It's gone now. The Cistercians are still around, but this abbey happens to have gone. But his words are still here. This has passed away, but his words are still here.
Relevant as ever.
Relevant as ever. I feel like something that always comes up from conversations with guys talking about faith. We're both in our early 30s-ish. When we go into church, we don't really see a big call to a demand to do anything, a demand to make sacrifices, a demand to be transformed. There are no challenges. But it's interesting in some of the sayings of Christ in the Gospels, he talks about his disciples doing the things that he does, or in fact even greater things than he does. I think it's in Peter's letter, in the first letter of Peter. St. Peter talks about sharing in the divine nature. There's all of this stuff which, talking about the hero's journey, Christ is clearly inviting people to participate in the life of God. And I think, even if I didn't believe in God necessarily, I was an agnostic, the call to participate in the divine seems to be fundamentally part and parcel of Christianity. God becomes a human. What are you and I, a human? It's the call to participate in that divinity. That is so attractive, I think, for a lot of people, even if, they don't not sure about terms like God, or even for the moment, Christ. There's something in that's like the missing piece. And I feel like the disciples of the Divine Logos community that we're trying to start up, it is a space for exploring that and exploring what that might be like in your life.